Welcome back, and thanks again to Magda and Rebeca for joining me during this section. So Rebeca, you come from Mexico, right? And would you mind telling us a bit of what your experience was like in coming to the Netherlands as an international student?
Well, thankfully it has been very easy for me to come to the Netherlands. The process was so easy and so quick. The Dutch embassy was very quick to give me back my documents, and booking my flight was super easy. Getting to Arnhem alone was kind of difficult because I flew in during COVID times.
Oh.
So from my country, they only allowed me to enter because I was going to study here. So no one could come with me, so I came all on my own.
Oh.
And getting to Arnhem was a bit difficult, but I got here. And well, this is my first year, so it's been good. I've been adapting well.
Yes, and it's great to hear, and also I'm sure also for the people at home, also very reassuring to hear that it is doable, even if you're coming from a country so far away like Mexico, that there is always a way to be able to come here. And also, of course, you were traveling during a pandemic period, which is definitely really critical. Hopefully, we are going to be out of this period anytime soon. Actually, at the moment in the Netherlands, there are no COVID restrictions whatsoever, so that should probably make the whole journey a little more manageable.
Yeah, definitely for people it's way easier to travel here. And like, again, Dutch people are always willing to help. If you ask anywhere at the airport, at the train station, they will always try to help you out. So, you know, in case of that, just ask.
Yes, very much agreed on that. So Magda, from the video, we see that there is something as a financial guarantee. Would you mind explaining to us a little further what that is and if there are any options regarding the financial guarantee?
The financial guarantee is sort of like a package fee that covers a number of items. For instance, health insurance, tuition fee, living costs, but also, no, I already mentioned housing. So it's a package fee.
Yeah.
A one-time fee that you pay to Han, and you can choose to either have it with or without housing. So if you already have housing, like for instance, if you're going to stay with relatives or friends, then you leave out the housing part. But most students just opt for the complete full package and also includes housing, because then housing is arranged for you by Han during the first year.
Yes.
And you actually pay for it before June 1. And you will receive an invoice from the admission office that you can use to transfer the money.
Excellent. So that is something that is also very good to hear beforehand, right? Did you already know about this financial guarantee before applying to the Han or not?
Yeah, I did. When I got the email, I read through the financial guarantee. I actually had some questions, but I just emailed admissions Han about it, and they replied. They got to me super quickly.
Okay.
So I was able to choose my package deal and everything. I would recommend those students, especially if it's your first year, to choose a full deal, because the housing situation can be a little bit difficult and stressful, especially if you've never been in the country or if you don't know anyone in the country. It's very difficult to find something that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, most definitely really, really good to know for the people at home. And also, as we covered during some of the previous sections regarding housing more specifically, we talked about the fact that if you are a non-European student, you also get to have priority on housing, and the Han actually guarantees housing for you for the first semester or even for the first year in some cases. We also saw something addressed as a residence permit. So where can students pick that up?
Well, actually, the Han takes over the process after you send in your documents to the admission office. Han Immigration takes over, and they actually apply on your behalf for your residence permit at the IND, Immigration and Naturalization Services in the Netherlands. And Han Immigration takes over all communication with the IND. So that means that you don't need to get in touch with them yourself. We will send in your documents, apply for your residence permit, and then in most cases, depending on the nationality that you have, you will hear from us. Han Immigration will send you the approval letter that your residence permit has been approved, and then you will need to go make an appointment at the Dutch embassy or consulate in your home country to pick up what is called, that's part of the residence permit, it's an entry visa. So I think you already...
Oh, yeah. I got my entry visa again super quickly. It took like 2 weeks to get it, actually. So I think that's record time. And I just picked it up at the embassy. They took my fingerprints. I had to take some pictures, fill out some documents, and that was it. But then I got here, and I just the visa is only valid, I think, for 6 months.
Okay.
So yeah, I got a little bit scared when I saw that
Right,
first because I thought that was gonna be my permit,
No,
but
it's the
no,
entry visa,
it's just
yeah.
entry. So you just get here, and then here, actually, we got to pick up our resident permits here at Han. They sent us an email with like a time slot and everything to pick it up. So.
Yeah, well, that sounds really convenient and also quite straightforward in general. And it's great to hear that you also receive this type of support from the Han in terms of getting those documents arranged. Let's talk about the Dutch bank account, which I feel like it's always an item that is quite recurring when it comes to living in the Netherlands, just because you need to have one. Let's be honest. Like, you might have a Dutch a bank account in your home country, but you really need a local one when you come here. So Magda, how do I get a Dutch bank account?
Well, first and foremost, we will give you more information on that in the months preceding your arrival in the Netherlands, of course. You are free to choose whatever bank you would like to have your account with, because there are differences in the student packages and the student deals that different banks provide. And you can already schedule an appointment at one of these banks online, so from your home country. But the thing you need is a BSN number. And a BSN number is a social security number that you get upon registration at municipality where you're going to live. So most of the students are either going to live in Nijmegen or in Arnhem. And that is why we made special arrangements with these two municipalities. So our students will get priority during certain time slots and certain dates, that they can sort of go through a fast lane to register at City Hall and then immediately receive their BSN.
Yeah.
And that with that BSN number, you can go onto your appointment at the bank and then have your Dutch bank account opened.
Wonderful.
Which indeed is important to have because, for instance, here on campus, there's no more cash. So you will need to have your bank card ready to either buy your coffee or have a meal or whatever it is you want to have from campus.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like your card from home might not work. Is that the case for you?
Yes, it has happened. Especially in Dutch supermarkets, they don't take anything that's not a Dutch bank account.
Yeah.
So Visa and MasterCard is not a thing.
Couldn't agree more on that. So that probably implies that you have your Dutch bank account already sorted out, right? Yes.
Yeah, it was so easy because now you can also just do it online. So I didn't even have to go to a bank appointment. I just downloaded an app on my phone, send in some of the documents like the BSN, passport, all that kind of like regular stuff. And they send me my card in the mail. And I just got it, activated it online, and use it. Yeah, super easy.
What kind of card do you have?
The bank?
Yeah.
It's ABN.
Okay, yeah.
ABN AMRO. Yeah, there's
One of the
different
bigger
ones.
banks.
Yeah.
ING, Rabobank.
Yeah, you just have those like bigger banks, and they make the whole like bank account process really manageable and understandable. What is it like to work in the Netherlands when you're a student not from the European Union? I don't know who wants to take this question.
I think I could take it because I have a lot of friends who work.
Go for it.
I want to start working. I have an interview at a local cafe next week, so that's exciting.
Wonderful. Good luck with that.
Thank you. But it's very easy. I think it's very manageable. A lot of the places don't require for you to speak Dutch, which is very important. So you can apply to a lot of stores, especially like Zara, Monkey, like a lot of like big clothing brands. They really take international students. And also I think a very important detail to know is that you need a work permit. But usually if the company is happy with like your resume and your CV, they apply on your behalf for the work document, so you don't actually have to do anything.
There you go. That's quite important to know.
It's the employer that needs to apply for the work permit, not the employee, him or herself. But if you are a non-European student, then there are some restrictions in the number of hours that you are allowed to work.
How many hours can you work?
It is, during the academic year, it is a maximum of 16 hours per week. That's option one. Or you can choose to work full-time during the months of June, July, or August, for 3 months.
And then because during the Han, in most cases, you also need to do an internship or a placement either within the Netherlands or abroad. How does it work for students outside the European Union?
You mean visa-wise?
Visa-wise, yes, or requirement-wise, can you do that without any types of limitations or restrictions?
In principle, there are no restrictions, but it depends on the country where you're going to. So that's really an individual assessment that needs to be made there. But this is Han Immigration again, the department that can guide you through that. So when it's time to do your internship, then please direct your questions there and you will be guided to what process you need to follow.
Okay. And we've also heard, which is also related to the topic of working as an international student, in case you decide to stay longer in the Netherlands, there is something called orientation year. Would you mind explaining what that is?
I think it's important to say that the residence permit that you do get at the beginning of your studies, it covers the full duration of your 4-year bachelor's or your master that you're doing. And afterwards, once you graduate from Han, you can choose to apply for what we call an orientation year. It's a different kind of visa. You apply for it yourself at the IND, the Immigration and Naturalization Services again. But that allows you to stay a full year on after your studies and try to see if you can find a job in your professional field. So that gives you extra time to explore whether or not you would like to pursue a career here, for instance. And a lot of students take that opportunity because during your studies there's not a lot of time to do those orientations. But if you have that extra year, then at least you have that year to find out what company you would like to work for, which organizations you would like to do some job interviews. So that is a good opportunity if you want to stay on after you graduate.
Rebeca, do you think you will be staying in the Netherlands after your graduation, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. So far I like it, but I really don't know. I guess the automotive field is so broad that you could go anywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
And also maybe going back to Mexico can sound quite appealing as well.
Yeah, you know, homesickness really sometimes does make me want to go back.
You can actually do in the orientation year, you don't have to do it right after you graduate. So you can also choose to do it, go back to your home country and then come back, but you need to come back for that orientation year in 3 years after you graduate.
Excellent. Yeah.
So you can go do both.
Do both. Go back home and come back.
Sounds like the perfect combination.
Yeah, it does.
Amazing. So this wraps up our session on visa.